back, everyone. Let's get back to the conversation. So, the President, Bola Tinubu, we understand that had meetings with some members of the National Assembly, met with the Senate President, met with the Speaker of the House, with a lot of interest in the composition of the leadership of the National Assembly. Let's get some more perspectives now. I'm being joined by the spokesperson of the Northern Elders Forum, Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed. Thank you so much indeed for joining us. Good to see you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
I appreciate it. Just in a matter of days, there will be inauguration of the 10th Assembly. In fact, tomorrow, the House will be doing its valedictory session, and on Thursday, the Senate will hold its own valedictory session. So in all of these, there will be issues of accounting for what has been done, looking forward to the next National Assembly. But it's very crucial, isn't it? The role of the National Assembly in our democratic development and growth. What is the position of the Northern Elders Forum in all of what is playing out?
Well, thank you once again. First, we believe that the National Assembly should be respected enough to be allowed members of the National Assembly to choose their leaders. Nigerians elected them. We've done our jobs. From this point on, they should be trusted to exercise judgment over what is right for the country and for the legislature. The independence of the legislature is absolutely crucial. It should not be compromised in any way or form. And so we believe that legislators are people who are responsible, voted for. The legislature is an extremely important organ of government. The executive has no business dictating to them who should be their leaders. So we believe they should be independent.
You don't think that there should be a handshake?
No. Shake all the hands you want, but don't tell them who should be their leaders. They are no children.
So you disagree, the forum disagree with the position of the APC?
Yeah, we disagree with any arrangement that tells an elected representative, not his own people, but someone else, to go to and choose someone else. They can exercise, they should consult, they should respect their parties, but ultimately, they exercise responsibilities that the party itself cannot intervene in, shouldn't intervene in. And it's dangerous for democracy, for the party to go to the lengths it goes, to tell legislators who have been elected by their constituencies, not by their parties. Their parties fielded them. They were elected by people who believe. But
shouldn't the party, if you're one person that you understand the politics of you've been a chief of staff to a former Senate president, so you know. The danger, of course, and you were a chief of staff to someone who controversially got into the position against a run of play. So in that sense, you understand the role of the party and how that should play out, because the party's agenda should also be taken to the National Assembly. That is what we see in other climes. So in that sense, are you saying that the political party that has a majority stake in the National Assembly should not be involved at all?
I think we should respect legislators to know enough that they know their party people. They know they should be loyal to their parties. Every argument you bring, respect for the party, balancing, equity, these people know about this. They're politicians. Why should we assume that they don't know what to do? What is the right thing for the country, for their constituencies, for their regions? Why should we assume that? These are highly educated, highly respected people, politicians, frontline people.
What, for example, would be your own suggestion in terms of the balancing of the equation?
Well, we think that every part of the country, as much as it is possible, should be seen somewhere along in terms of the top hierarchy of the government. This is important for inclusiveness. However, we should respect the people, the 109 senators and 360 are members of the House of Reps, to also know that. And therefore, to conduct themselves in a manner, select their own people in a manner that reflects that understanding. But beyond this, you can't tell them what to do, and you shouldn't tell them what to do.
Okay. Let me allow you to listen to this soundbite. And this is from the governor of Rivers State, former governor of Rivers State, that is Governor Nyesom Wike, who today gave his own analysis of the reason why the permutation or the arrangement of the APC should be followed. Take a listen to him.
There's something going on in the country now about the Senate presidency and the House team. Sure. And anybody knows my position. My position is the presidency should come to the South. Ask me why. People, you see, I don't understand how this country is operated. People are so selfish. If you agree that the presidency should come to the South, tell me in truth, where should you go now? In truth, it can't be in the Southwest, right? Yeah. How will it be in the Southeast? South has only produced one Senate president, 1979, Joseph Wales. Southeast has produced over 7.
From former Governor Wike's position, is political mathematics. What's your own view?
You know, when you speak like Wike and all this South-South, all this South-South, you provoke an argument that we really don't want to go to. The Northwest gave President Tinubu his largest votes, well, from his own, his largest votes. So if we are going to go by this, we should say that the Senate president should go to the Northwest. That's political. That's a political calculation. If the entire North insists that we want to be seen among the top 3, and that's because we voted for this government. Literally, Northern votes created this government. What is wrong with that? See, this is why it's not good to go the Wike way, the way people are going about the ethnic thing, the religious thing. It doesn't make any sense. Compare the votes Tinubu got in the Northwest, for instance, with the votes in the South-South. And if we're going to do that, why don't you extend the argument? Why don't you go to the Southeast, where he virtually was not present? Why don't you just give them the Senate presidency? That's also inclusiveness. And it's in the South. So it's because you reduce these things to ethnicity and religion, and it's North and it's South, as you have a problem. Allow legislators to exercise a decision on the basis of what they think is right.
Well, I mean, does the issue of balancing in terms of this is a multiple state in every sense, in terms of ethnicity and religion, is a plural state. And we cannot take away the fact that these considerations are very important.
Absolutely.
In that sense, what would be balancing from your own point of view, considering that if we bring back the image that I showed Mr. Jimo Ibrahim earlier, there you go. You have a Southwest president, a vice president from the Northeast. Now, are you suggesting that we should have a Senate president from the North?
I am suggesting that for many reasons. First, it is important to allow every part of the country to feel important. And one way in which you can do that is to allow a Senate president from the Northwest. There are 6 or 7 states from the Northwest. If you do that purely in terms of the votes that the Tinubu presidency got, the Northwest should have the third position. If you want to introduce inclusiveness, the president and the vice presidency are virtually the same thing. So you're looking at the third position, and then you should reward people who are loyal to you. Now, that's one way of arguing. And all these things we're talking about, showing me and you and Jimo, the legislators know it. What we are asking for is allow them to choose. Don't be calling them like small boys and telling them, the party giving them a formula, the president telling them this is the way I want things done. They will not tell you what to do. That is not constitutionalism.
So is the North saying that because we gave much votes to this government, we need that reciprocity? Is that what the North is saying?
If the North says that, is it wrong?
I'm asking, is that the position?
No, I'm asking you, would it be wrong?
No, I mean, because the question is, I thought that the agenda of this whole thing is about Nigeria.
Yes, it is about Nigeria.
And in the past, you had...
And the North is Nigeria.
And I understand that. For the idea is North is not the only part of Nigeria.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we would be the first to tell you that equity and fairness is important. And that equity and fairness is also contingent. I mean, it has to take into consideration the fact that people who voted should be also recognized.
So, I mean, this argument that you're giving is what a lot of the critics of President Buhari took him up to, I mean, or what he said in London, where he talked about the 5%. And
no,
a lot
it
of
is
people,
not.
And a lot of people criticized him
that's not
about
fair.
that. I mean, if you are saying that those who voted for you should reap the benefit of the highest offices in the land, considering the many interests of the country in terms of the peace, issues of equity and justice.
So that's not the argument by far. We have condemned President Buhari for making that statement. And we come from the north. And that is an advice I would give to any politician. Don't ever, ever point at people who have exercised their rights to choose who they want. Don't point at them with percentages as if they have committed a crime. The Southeast didn't do anything wrong by giving him 5%. That's how the people voted. I'm not saying the North only on the basis of the fact that the Northwest gave Tinubu his largest number of votes. For that reason alone, it should be the North should have position number 3. What I'm saying is that we have people, 109, I think that's 109 senators,
senators,
109 senators who have come through very grueling process. Who should know? Why can't we trust their judgment?
Is it possible? I mean, if you, this calculation, if you have a Senate president from the North, there's a likelihood that we'll have a Muslim president, a Muslim vice president, and a Muslim Senate president. Would that be fairness?
Well, I don't know what fairness would be. See, from day one, this argument about faith has been faulted. If you have a Muslim president, Muslim vice president, Muslim Senate president, they do nothing to Islam.
But does it represent our nation?
No, it doesn't represent our nation.
The argument and those who are in favor of considering ethnic and faith issues are that, I mean, and I'm one of those who I do not, if you know my background, you probably know why I have a very secular, I have a very generous beliefs, and I'm from Kwara State. Sure. I was born and bred within in a densely Muslim population. I went to the Quranic school with my friends. So I understand the tendencies, and my grandfather was a Muslim. My father has a Muslim name. So in that sense, I understand some of these tendencies. But the question is that Nigeria is supposed to be the underlying issue, the bottom line. And with all of these differences that we have as a people needs to be put in consideration. And these offices need to reflect the multiplicity of our nation, the nature of our country, shouldn't it?
Let me say this to you. We are from the North. The North is plural. There are Christians, there are Muslims. We have 19 states. There are APC states, PDP states. We have Christian governors, we have Muslim governors. We know that there's absolutely no difference in the lives of ordinary people, whether the governor is a Christian or a Muslim. We know this. We had a Muslim president for 8 years in this country. The North has never been as bad as it has been. It did nothing to the North. It just made it worse. We know. So if anybody is in a position to preach to Nigerians to be wary about this faith thing, it is Northerners. We are not making this case, and we are not going to be carried away by this argument about faith. From day one, Nigerians poisoned the argument about faith because they fooled people into thinking if a Muslim becomes a leader, a Christian loses. If a Christian becomes a leader, Muslims lose. It's all fake. It's not true. You do absolutely nothing to the Muslim population in this country because you are a Muslim president.
Oh, but did you see?
Let me explain.
Hold it. I wanted to, because we're out of time, what is being attributed to, how a former governor of Kaduna State was being referred. I'm not sure you've seen that thing.
Yeah.
And some of the criticism.
I've seen that. But what did he do for the Muslims? He demolished their houses. The very last day he was leaving, 95% of the houses and the buildings he demolished belonged to Muslims. So of what value has a Muslim ticket been to them? This is fraud. Politicians have poisoned our faith. They took it and made it a political capital, and they're fooling everybody. And the earlier we open our eyes, the better. They are destroying the political process by bringing faith into it and deceiving people into thinking that the faith of a politician represents a plus or a minus to you. It doesn't. It doesn't. For all you know, he could be a Muslim and he may not even pray 5 times a day. For all you know, he could be a Christian and could have some horrible, horrible habits. But no, politicians have told Nigerians, don't allow them to do this.
Dr. Baba Ahmed, on a final note, if this does not go in line of the calculation that you have put forward tonight, does not favor the North in the the politics and the leadership politics in the National Assembly.
The argument I made, Shaun, let me repeat, is that legislators should be allowed to decide where positions go. That's the argument I've made. I haven't made an argument saying it must go to the North. I have said there are other elements that need to be considered. If the decision is made freely and open and fairly by legislators, it can go to the South, who will live with it. It can go to the North, who will live with it. There's no problem.
That's the position of the Northern Elders Forum.
Absolutely. But we believe that it should be made by those who are going to be led. And remember, the Senate President is going to be Prime Minister Inter Affairs. You can be impeached tomorrow. And we've seen that happen. It's not in the interest of President Tinubu to impose a leadership on the National Assembly. It's not in his interest. In fact, the further he is away from this tussle about who becomes Senate President and Deputy, the better.
Dr. Hakeem Baba Ahmed is a spokesperson of the Northern Elders Forum. Thank you so much, and it's good to see you again.
Yes, it's good to see you again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ian.